This Saturday marks the third full week of conference play in the Big 12. 4 games today, starting this morning and ending tonight. When you hit this time of the year, conference play in the Big 12 means you're going up against some of the fastest, toughest teams in the country. And nobody understands that style of play more or what it takes to get a win in this league than the coaches themselves. I'm Aaron Pryor, and this is Big 12 Big Football.
It's funny to watch the Big 12 come to the East Coast because nobody on the East Coast has ever seen Big 12 football. A lot of the recruits and parents and fans and would come to our games, and they would go to ACC Big Ten games as well, because that's ACC Big Ten country as well. And they would come watch a Big 12 game, and it'd be like it's almost a different sport.
And that style of football he's talking about will be on full display as the Mountaineers bring their nationally second-ranked offense to Fort Worth to face off with TCU's stingy defense, which ranks 3rd in the country in defensive touchdowns. Last year's matchup ended in a 34-10 win for the Mountaineers. Skyler Howard threw for 231 yards and connected with 4 different receivers for touchdowns as the Ears sang country roads into the night. For TCU, last season as a whole didn't pan out the way they're used to, but the fix, as quarterback Kenny Hill told us this summer, may be more simple than you'd think.
I think we've really just come together as a team. We all know we struggled last year and we didn't play up to our capability last year, but everybody this year, I mean, we all know what the goal is. We've all just come together. I think we have a great camaraderie on this team, and I think that's gonna help us out a lot this year.
Let's look at the numbers for this year's teams. WVU averages nearly 49 points per game, which leads the Big 12. TCU right there at 48 points per game. The rushing attacks are also similar. Both WVU and TCU are 1 and 2 in the league on the ground. Where things are drastically different, total defense. The Mountaineers are giving up 451 yards per game to this point, where TCU surrenders 323 yards a game, which is 28th in the nation. This game will be defined as to whether WVU can bolster up that front 7 and slow down TCU's rushing attack. We've got one night game this week as Kansas State heads to the 40 acres to take on Texas.
I want y'all to understand something. I don't need nothing else if I got y'all. I'm going as hard as I can for you, because I know you're doing the same for me.
By the numbers, this game looks like it'll be a low-scoring game. These defenses come to play. K-State is number 1 in the Big 12 and top 25 nationally, giving up just over 308 yards per game total, where Texas leads the league in stopping the run game, holding opponents to under 100 yards per contest. Something's gotta give this Saturday, and Wildcat DB DJ Reed says his team is up for another road test.
You can't take anything for granted. We got to go out there and obviously set the tempo, because we're not going to have all of our fan base, so we got to really go out there and just set the tempo from the beginning.
Our 2 morning games feature Iowa State traveling to Oklahoma and Texas Tech headed to Lawrence.
Hey fellas, we red on red this weekend!
The Sooners will be decked out in all red threads for the first time in school history, while Iowa State comes in with white lids and jerseys. OU's 14-game nation-leading win streak will be put on the line at 11 a.m. Central. For KU, it's homecoming week as the Jayhawks welcome in Texas Tech. Sophomore Khalil Herbert rushed for 291 yards on 36 carries against WVU last week. He'll go up against a much-improved Texas Tech defense that's only giving up 145 yards on the ground per game. That's it for this week's Big 12 Big Football. Lots of Big 12 action all day today, so sit back, relax, enjoy the games, and we'll see you next week.